This is going to be a should you summon depending on which video you clicked on for Shallet, the Game Originals Fusion, or Gohan and Trunks, the new Game Originals tag unit. I don't want to record this intro twice, so I'll be reusing it per video, but you know which video you pressed on. I'll be giving you everything you need to know, so we'll consider some things before summoning. We'll go into the kit details, then I will give you my opinion on whether I think it's worth it for you guys to summon, and we'll finalize with whether I'm summoning, because I know a lot of you guys base what you're doing off of what I'm doing. So let's get into this video. So consider these things before doing anything regarding the new units. Firstly, consider your chrono crystals. We are in the part 2 of the 8th anniversary, and that means you've probably spent a lot of chrono crystals in part 1 and God knows whatever reruns, etc. I imagine you don't have the most amount of chrono crystals, but if you do, still consider it because the units might not be worth it in the long run. But let me just add, if you're a collector, everything I'm saying doesn't matter anyways, and you're just watching the video probably because you just like my content, which I appreciate. But one copy of these units might not be good enough for you, so just trying to get them for the sake of getting them when you want them to be good in PvP might not be the best decision for you, and you might be better off saving for part 3. Secondly, I don't advise summoning straight away regardless. This banner will be starting on the 17th of June and it ends on the 2nd of August, which means you have 2 months to summon on this banner. In the meantime, I'm not saying you should wait till the end date, but you can watch showcases for the first or second days of this unit's release so you can get a greater opinion on what this unit can do. I advise you watch big and small content creators because every single account will have a different team, different build, different equipment, and characters, star levels. The whole situation will be different, so if you want the greatest opinion on the unit, you need to be watching multiple showcases. But it's very important that I state that it's not the content creators that dictate whether the unit is good or not. It's the meta. The players that play the game will eventually come to see if a unit is good or bad. So if the unit isn't being used after the first day or 2, you will know for sure they're not good because people will use units that are good. So if you're really uncertain, wait up to 3 to 5 days to make your decision on the banner. It's not running away. The third thing I should mention is that you should consider the near future. I mentioned it slightly earlier. The part 3 is the next part and it's typically where they drop an ultra. In the 7th anniversary last year, they dropped 2 ultras, and ultras are the top class of the game. They do the most damage, they're usually the highest damaging and defensively, and they come with mechanics that are like wow. So if these units don't appeal to you looks wise and you're only considering them for kits, it's better off you just wait for part 3, as those units are more likely to power creep the game and take over. I can't guarantee that though, but the finale of a celebration should be a banger. And finally, the fourth thing, my judgment isn't final. I'm giving this advice prior to the units being released, meaning I do not have the in-game stats. But off of me playing the game for the whole 8 years, I'm a 56-time God rank player. I simply just don't grind for God rank anymore because it takes a lot of time. But I've seen every unit that releases, so I have a good gauge on what the developers do, their patterns with units. But ultimately I cannot foresee the future, so if they decide to change things up and just destroy a unit with another release, for example, they just drop the maddest yellow that gets rid of Gohan and Trunks, or the maddest purple that gets rid of Shallet, that's not something I could have predicted. It's just a possibility that you have to consider for yourself. Let's get into the kit now. We've got the kit here for Super Saiyan God Shallet. Let's get into him. So here we have his tags: Saiyan, Super Saiyan God, Fusion Warrior, God Key, and Fusion. Episode Game Originals. Z ability: base blast attack 22%, base blast defense 22%. Game Originals, Fusion Warrior, God Key are the tags that he buffs. He gives extra strike defense to Game Originals, and then it goes up at Z ability 4. Strike arts: on activation, enemy damage received plus 15%, and it has blast armor. And on the blast, it's the same thing, enemy damage received plus 15%. We've seen this similarly with Ultra Super Vegito. Going into the blue card, now the blue card is very interesting. On activation, special move plus 50%, right? That's the damage he does. Also, destroy all special move arts in hand, then activate a number of the following effects at random equal to the number of arts destroyed plus 1. So from what I'm interpreting from this is that he will have to destroy special moves, and the amount of special moves in his deck that he will destroy will give him a number of these buffs at random. Now note, the odds of you having a special move in your deck besides from the one that you press isn't very high, so you'll only pretty much get one of these in most cases, but there is a chance you will have 2. If you have 4 special moves in your deck in PvP, what are you doing? Anyways, you can get 100% chance to get a feint. That's one of the odds. You can get damage guard penetration plus 50%, so you can do more damage. That's another one of the odds. You get limit enemy healing to 60 timer counts, 60% for 40 time account, sorry. That's actually pretty good because they can't heal past 60%. That's another one. And prevent all enemy switching, so once you press it, no switching. All of these can be very effective, very effective. It doesn't nullify endurance, but it will do damage. I think the best one is unironically the feint, but I would also probably take the limit the enemy healing, because 40 timer counts is a long time for you to not be able to go past 60, especially when everybody heals. So this can be good, but obviously you won't know which one you're gonna get, which is what's the downside about it. It has blast armor and it's the forward moving type. Going into here, the green card is a standstill type. Draw special move arts next, so you can get a blue card from the green card. Combined with what I just mentioned, that can be very useful to get 2 blue cards in your deck to get 2 of those buffs. Draw 1 card if hand has 3 or fewer. Key plus 50, unique gauge plus 10%, damage plus 30%, nullify special cover changes 5 timer counts, and protect hand 5 counts. Ultimate here, supreme damage on activation, ultimate damage for 50%, nullify endurance, but it can be cancelled. On hit, seals enemy main abilities, all enemy sub counts plus 3, and it has blast armor as the forward moving type. Going to the main ability, destroy 1 card, then draw ultimate art, so the ultimate forces its way in. You get health, 50 key, overdrive, gauge, charge rate plus 50%, so the speed that you charge your overdrive will be up now, and cancel attribute downgrades under normal conditions. That's what you get for the main ability. Now we're going to the start ability, and we have damage 340%, and we have damage guards 290%. If we compare that to the new units, here we have Legend Broly, and if we look at his damage, it's 340 and his damage guard is 300%. And here we have Ultra Gogeta Blue. If we look at his damage, it's 360 and the damage guard is 300%. So as you can see, they kind of went lesser with the damage and damage guard that they've given to Shallet, which is very interesting. Going to the rest of it, we have key recovery plus 70%, draw speed plus 1, nullify attribute downgrades up to 3 times, nullify abnormal conditions up to 3 times. He gets endurance, 50% recovery, and allied damage plus 20%. The allied damage does actually make up for the damage missing here, because it does apply to himself if I'm not mistaken, and him also having endurance with 50% recovery is very useful. Going into the unique ability, on battlefield entry, 1 card if he has 3 or fewer he's going to draw. He gets health, key, nullify special cover changes. He also destroys 1 enemy card and decreases the enemy's draw speed, which is some good disrupt to slow down the amount of combos they can do. When on battlefield, on area change, or when enemy switches, he would draw 1 card if hand has 3 or fewer. This can happen 1 time. Activations reset on switch, and then here there's the damage plus 30% for 10 timer counts, which is very useful, and enemy key minus 20, which is a bit of disrupt. Also, if element disadvantage, or he's green, right? Green plus super green. If he's faced off with a purple, aka LR Super Vegito, who's the most relevant right now, or Nappa Vegeta maybe. Also, Trunks and Gohan side, he will switch to light type for 5 timer counts and be uncancelable, making him technically advantageous to that unit for 5 timer counts. He also gets a damage plus 20%, so let's say they switch in while you're comboing, you can do more damage that way, which is nice. When on battlefield, an enemy uses vanishing step, key plus 20, seal enemy special arts 5 counts 1 time, activations reset on switch. While not defeated, an enemy activates ultimate, awakened arts, or rising rush, so not blue cards. Here he's gonna get health restoration plus 100%, sub counts minus 5, and cancels enemy buff effects, which is 2 times. So the buff cancellation in combination with the endurance is a beautiful combination that just pushes to the fact that he's gonna be somewhat decent at surviving. While not defeated, if at element disadvantage, an enemy activates a special move of ultimate or awakened art, so you include the bit before but special moves in addition now, he's also going to go light type. So against rising rushes, he will be safe in the same way in the same way that if he's faced with the purple, he goes light. If he gets rising rush, it will also increase the timer counts that you go light, just to make sure that you don't take a huge amount of damage, which is really nice. Makes sense why they kind of nerfed his defenses and his offenses. Effective against strike is his cover change, so you strike cover change, and you can combo that into a blue. And then if we look down here, unique gauge, key consumption type starts with 25% charge. This is similar to Sword of Hope Trunks the Ultra, with at least 25% unique gauge. On strike / bar starts used 1 time, activations reset on switch. You draw a green card, damage 30%, uncancelable, they can go up to 60%, draw speed plus 1, 15 timer counts, and it's uncancelable, with at least 25% unique gauge when hit by enemy arts 2 times. Activations reset on switch. He's going to get health, damage guard plus 10% for 10 timer counts, ally sub counts minus 1, enemy key minus 25, and then consumed. Activations reset on switch by 25% on strike / blast arts used with at least 25% 1 time, and by 25% when hit by enemy arts with at least 25% 2 times. Charges moderately on ally arts used according to the key consumed. And then here we have the legend action. It activates in the low area, so you're going low to high. On legend action activation, he's going to get key 50, HP and unique gauge plus 25%, and he can combo the blue and the ultimate into it, which is very, very effective. That's everything for Shallet, and he does have a lot of good features, honestly. Let's get into the should you summon. Now, the important info, you want to know whether you should summon for Shallet, and honestly, it's gonna be heavily contingent on if you like Fusion Warriors or not. If you didn't summon for Ultra Gogeta Blue, you don't have LR Super Vegito, Game Originals is not a great tag, and honestly, if you do want to run Game Originals, you're gonna have to get both of these Part 2 units, and that's not looking to be the best thing to do, honestly. That's more of a collector's way of approach to the game, and if you actually care about the quality of the performance of your unit, then honestly, Shallets for Game Originals is not a thing. They might be useful for Saiyans, but more typically, it's really Fusion Warriors that is gonna allow this unit to thrive. Maybe leader slotting them is also an option, but I don't think they're especially good enough for that single purpose. Shallets is a good unit. I do think they can do big things. They have survivability, buff cancels, and going light type does seem great, but beyond that, it's not something that is really gonna shift the meta in such an immense way, unless just in game the stats are outrageous. So if you don't like Fusion Warriors, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're not collecting for Game Originals, I wouldn't recommend it, and that team is gonna be pretty mediocre anyways, unless you just want to get this unit for collectors and run them on Saiyans or leader slot, and even then that's gonna be super inefficient. I just recommend not going for this guy. It's not that they're not good at all, but right now there's no true reason to invest in them when the circumstance around them is literally only aligned for Fusion Warriors. So that's my take on Shallet. I do like the unit, but I can't say for everybody Shallet is. Now you want to know whether I'm going to be summoning for the new units. There's the Super Saiyan Trunks and Gohan, and there's also Super Saiyan God Shallet. Now I'll say first and foremost, my priority is Shallet. I like him a lot. Like, I think his design is just Gogeta but fancier, and if he was a fusion of somehow Goku and Vegeta, people would still like him as much, but because he's not a Goku and Vegeta, he's only in Dragon Ball Legends, he obviously has less appeal, and that's completely understandable. But I like everything about him. I like the tail, everybody likes the tails on Super Saiyan 4. I like the scar, everybody likes the scar on Bardock. The green attack, everybody likes the green attacks from Broly. And the fusion, I do like Gogeta. He has the 2 bangs, that's Vegito. He takes an aspect from every single thing we like in Dragon Ball. It's very vivid to me, and that alone makes me feel like he's worth it. I run Fusion Warriors as well, and him being green, he's very helpful for Ultra Gogeta Blue, so I'm looking to get that range type buff for the team. But in regards to Super Saiyan Trunks and Gohan, I do also want them because they're also a Game Originals. So if I do get them, it would be after going for Shallet, and depending on how much CC I have, because I still have to consider Part 3 where there's 2 Ultras. But they are afterthoughts, and I'll only be looking for 1 copy really. I'm putting most of my stock into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan anyways, so I won't need them to be high stars, so I think I'll be fine. So yeah, I do want both of them, and I am going for both of them, but only Super Saiyan Gohan and Trunks, depending on how my summon goes Shallet, because if I get unlucky, I won't have the CC to spare, and Part 3 is very, very important. So yeah, that's my approach to this Part 2 of the 8th anniversary. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Depending on which video you're watching right now, Shallet or Super Saiyan Trunks and Gohan, I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope the video was helpful, and good luck summoning if you're summoning on one or the other, or even both. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is ZAKASHI, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.